y'all are having an awesome Monday. So I wanted to talk about or get into this Royce Reed and Dwight Howard mess or madness that's going on, because if you don't know, Royce has been trying to expose Dwight Howard for a very long time. This goes all the way back to when what is that, Basketball Wives came out. I remember when she got on Basketball Wives, and she was trying to talk bad about Dwight. A lot of people didn't want to hear it at the time, but I think mainly at that point she was just pretty much saying that Dwight Howard wasn't paying his child support and he wasn't handling his duties as a father. So, yeah, so the mess she's getting into now, calling him baby daddy Superman and kind of exposing him. Yeah, if you guys are up for the tea, I wanted to share, some of the posts that she uploaded. I'm not sure if she uploaded it on TikTok or what, but I do have the footage here. So I hope you guys are interested like I am, because I want to get to the real details, okay? So she started off by saying how they first met. She said they first met, I think she said at Disney World or something. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, so I guess it was some basketball players and also some cheerleaders around wherever they met. And she was going through a breakup, and he got another one of the basketball players to holler at her or to get her attention and let her know that he was interested in her, which is very weird, because what grown man, as tall as he is, needs to get another man to help him get a woman? As little as Royce is, because Royce is tiny, okay, very beautiful, but tiny, right? But yeah, she said he ended up messing around with one of her, I guess you would say, co-workers, someone who was also a cheerleader on whatever team she was on. And they split up or stopped talking. Then he, of course, tried to get back with her. And then that's how she got pregnant. And once she told him she was pregnant, she said that he told her, "Oh, I thought you was on birth control." And she said he knew good and well that she wasn't on no birth control, which is not surprising, because a lot of men will play that role and act like, "Oh, I didn't know that happened." But this all leads me to believe that Dwight Howard was just doing what most basketball players who are on the down low do. They find a woman, and instead of marrying a woman, they would just have a baby by them. And then that way, that would pretty much, set the stage for them not being down low, right? So, which is really unnecessary, because you don't have to do that. But, back in that time, that was a different time period. I think that was around 2007, she said. But we're going to get into the mess here. And again, you guys know I'm dealing with the sinus issue, and yeah, but I did want to get into this, so let's check out the footage.
Take the high road. I promise I did. But when you mess with my money and the means I need to raise our child, then claim I don't work, kiss my entire ass, no penetration. I'ma tell it all. I told you to leave me the F alone. Now get your popcorn for this, Mr. Sassy. I said leave me
Mr.
alone several
Sassy.
times for years.
Oh my goodness. Look at Royce. Is that Royce right there? Oh my goodness. Can you guys see her? Wow. Look at Royce's little self. Did she call him Mr. Sassy? He is such a queen, right? He is very much a queen, okay?
I I tried to mind my business as much as possible. I'm human, and I moved on. I let people call me everything besides my name. I let people run with the false narratives. I was told it'll blow over. It's not worth it. Just lay low. Nah, not anymore. Every time I start dating someone, he starts acting a fool. Swear. Fall for the fake ish if you want to. There's a pattern. This may be none of y'all business, but since it's spoken on, I have the right to speak not just my truth, but the only truth. This evil son of a Satan refuses to allow me to be happy. Every year he does some dumb ish, then acts oblivious and blames his attorneys, claiming to not know. Using kids, family, death, and extortion tactics just to smile on the internet or cry victim is terrifying. So get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Run my mama her money back and tell the damn truth. Now,
Not run my mama her money back. Okay, this reminds me of who is Gabrielle Union married to? That guy, Dwayne Wade. He lived with his first wife, Frances, what is her name? Sinai Frances, whoever he has those children by, the one who, the wife who had the child that they share, that's, being very publicized for like wanting to switch the gender, whatever you call that, transgender child. But it reminds me of that situation with Dwayne Wade. When he got with his first wife, he ended up living with the first wife and her family, and they end up taking care of him. And then, of course, once he got big and famous, he blew up, and then he kicked her to the curb pretty much. So it seems like that's a pattern with these basketball players. They get with these women, the women and the family support them because they know, they have a bright future ahead of them. So, of course, who wouldn't want to support you so that you can get on your feet? But they always end up, the guys that is, they always end up needing assistance from the family, the woman's family, and then they always leave them hanging. So, like with Dwayne Wade, when he left, he pretty much left the Frances lady. Her last name is Frances. I forgot her first name. But when he left his first wife, well, he actually didn't leave her. He kicked her out of their house. He kicked her out of their house. And I'm going to get into that. I'm going to do some footage about that also, because I'm just, that story needs to be told, and it needs to be more public. I thought when that story came out it was going to be bigger than it was, and it wasn't. But this is a mess. These basketball players, they normally do this. They get with a woman, and then the woman's family takes them on, and then they end up just shitting on them pretty much.
put your popcorn on that. No one needs to call me or calm me down. I'm sick of this shit show. I'm talking for real now. He can't take shit else from me, so what am I losing?
Hey y'all, it's Royce. And due to a lot of recent occurrences that include lies, fabrications, false accusations, threats, etc., I realized that it's about that time for me to tell my story from the beginning to now. Unfortunately, someone keeps calling my bluff. And when you're an ant fighting an elephant, the only way to eat an elephant is bite by bite. Therefore, I want to let you know that I am a true Cancer zodiac. I told you to leave me alone. I told you not to fuck with me. Yet you still do. So, because of that, I am not Michelle Obama. When they take a low, I do not take it high. I take it to hell. And now, you're going to get what you asked for. I had a baby by Superman, and here's his fucking kryptonite.
All right, so listen up. State Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No, thank you. I got a friend who told me about the...
Of course, you guys, the ads are going to be played here because there's no way around it.
Hey y'all, I'm Royce. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm gonna get this out. So, this is my story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004 to now. All because I had a baby by Superman. Part 1.
And I know I keep butting in, and I'm going to do that a lot because you're definitely going to get my commentary from this. But why does she keep calling him Superman? I've never heard him refer to himself as Superman, but I guess that's something they know. Something that's, I guess that's what they do. I'm not quite sure.
July 31st, 2004, I was at the movies at Downtown Disney with two of my friends.
Oh, at Downtown
And
Disney.
three male figures walk in, one looking to be about an inch away from being a midget, the other
Not the shade, okay? She said one of his friends was an inch away from being a midget. Oh my goodness, the shade is so real.
very skinny and he had a bad acne problem, and another one who was extremely tall. As they come over to the concession stand, we are greeted with, "Y'all in my book." Our response was, "What book?" He goes, "My yearbook." I then respond, "No, sweetie, I'm grown." He goes, "No, my magic book. Y'all used to dance with the magic." Oh, yes. He's like, "I'm the rookie." Oh, hey. That's how that went. Okay? And he was talking about, "Oh, y'all not dancing this year, that we left them with the Lion King." Like, it was a bunch of niceties and goofiness, and that was it. He still had braces. It was nothing. So we go to see the Notebook, and they go.
So, you guys, this was July 31st, 2024, when Royce and Dwight Howard first met. So, I think I said 2007, but it was actually 2024.
See something that I used to think was Transformers, but it was something along those lines. I don't know. Maybe I wrote back. I don't know. Anyway, about 10-20 minutes into our movie, I go to the bathroom because I am now in a full-blown argument with my then boyfriend, who is breaking up with me because he is swearing that I'm at the movies with a dude. Obviously, I am not, but he was very insecure, and it was just an ongoing thing with us. So we broke up that day, and I was devastated because what? I got dumped. Anyway, walk out the bathroom, and Superman is sitting there on the bench. And he goes, "No one should ever make you cry like that." Okay, thank you. And you're like, "No, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm young, but no man should ever make you feel like that." Yeah, braces. So I'm like, again, thank you.
Now, she said Dwight Howard had braces. Can y'all imagine his big tall self with braces? Oh my goodness. I would love to see that picture. I'm gonna have to see if I can look that up.
I go on about my business, and I go back to the movie, and I'm in the movie doing all of this, of course, on my little aim, my little sidekick. But by the end of the movie, I'm just kind of over it. So we're walking out the theater, and they're leaning on the car like they're in Boys in the Hood. So we're walking across the street, and his cousin comes up to me, which is the one with the acne problem, and he goes, "Hey, my cousin trying to holler at you." And I was like, "Well, why is your cousin not over here?" So he calls him over, and yes, we exchanged numbers. And yes, it probably was because, not even probably, it was because I was trying to make my now ex jealous. It is what it is. I was 24, whatever. So his first text to me was, "Hey, this is real name, the tall guy." So if you've ever seen me put TG on something or heard about that nickname, that's where that came from. So anyway, fast forward, 2 months go by, and I have not gone out with him. I haven't really said too much to him outside of AIM and T-mail. So I was just being an asshole. Well, realizing that my relationship is now over for real, my dad is like, "Well, why not just go and hang out?" He's like, "You don't have to do anything." He's like, "But just hang out. Have some male companionship." Not like that, but just someone to hang out with and have fun that enjoys doing goofy shit like me, right? So
Only 12% of women-owned firms actually surpass $100,000 in annual revenue.
We decided that we're going to go to the movies at Festival Bay, which is now changed names probably like 20 times. But we go to those movies, and I'll never forget this day because this is when I felt the shift. But it was a man and his son. And the son ran up to me and was like, "Oh my God, you're a magic dancer." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." That never happens, y'all. People don't know the magic dancers here. Like,
Now, when she says this right here, she says no one ever reaches out or acknowledges a magic dancer. She was a cheerleader for the magic team. I'm thinking Dwight Howard probably sent them people over there to her to try to make her feel good, because I mean, we know these entertainers, they are in, because that's what he is considered an entertainer, but they are so full of it. Okay, they are tricksters, okay, just like any other trickster. And I believe that he probably sent that guy over there, or the kid or whatever, because how they going to point her out and know her from a magic game? I mean, it could happen, but yeah, I believe that was part of his try to get her. I believe that was part of that.
no, for real. People don't know the magic dancers at all. So
She doesn't even believe it. She knows something funny or fishy was happening here. So yeah, come on.
I was like taken aback, and he asked if he could take a picture. He pulls out a real camera, and he takes a picture. After
And then he already has the camera to take a picture with her. Come on, you guys.
that day, there was a shift. I started getting invited to promos, to fashion shows, to theme parks, like, team events. I was at
And immediately she starts getting all these invites, right? So you don't think this is part of the conquer and rescue, not rescue, but to get her. I feel like this was all part of that game that Dwight Howard was playing, because he probably already knew, someone probably used it on him, so he just used these techniques on her to be real fancy, because now all of a sudden she's getting all this recognition, and she only went on a date with him. So come on, y'all, pay attention now, come on.
everywhere. And I had stated a few times that I was thinking about going back to dance, and he was against it. So I did a brand ambassador tour with Chervin on Dr. Pepper, came back, and I said, I've made up my mind. Like, I'm doing this. And was he being supportive of things that I was doing? Yes. He was at the fashion shows that I did with Gaucher. Yes, that Gaucher, hey girl. He was coming to my parties. I mean, he was around. So I'm not going to say like he wasn't doing anything. He was. But I wanted my career. I went back. The team took me back, knowing what our history was. I danced that year. The next year I said I wanted to go to Miami. I said I wanted to dance for the Heat. That was my dream team, either there or the Dallas Cowboys. And both of those he was completely against, and I had no idea why. He would offer like our suggestions for other teams, but never those two. Just completely against anything in Texas and Miami. Now you'll know why. I auditioned for the team. I make it. Yay me. And after a couple weeks, there's a couple girls that are just treating me weird, and I didn't know why. Well, I ended up finding out that he had cheated on me with one of my teammates who used to live in Texas, but now was coming to the Heat, and he had been.
So I'm just, curious to know, why would he act like he was so interested in Royce? He act like he's so interested in Royce, and then he goes and mess with her teammate. See, y'all, that, knowing what I know now about Dwight Howard, I mean, he did just propose to a woman, a real woman. But think about it. Before the real woman he proposed to, he was actually involved with, and has a couple of lawsuits with a couple transgender guys. So, for him to act like he's just so into Royce, and then he's, reaching out to her, then he finally gets her to go on a date with her, then a lot of things start happening for her, and then all of a sudden, then he starts messing with one of her teammates, right? Like, that's just weird to me. And see, she should have realized then, and like we said, back then that was a different time, so she probably didn't automatically think, oh, this man is probably gay, or down low. But now I'm sure she definitely knows now, but that was just his tactic then, to make sure she knew that, he really wasn't that serious, but probably just more to test the waters out and see how dedicated he could get her to, stand beside him and be quiet or be a beard, right? I felt like he was probably feeling her out to see if she could be a good beard for him at the time. That's what I feel like.
Trying to get both of us to not say anything. Anyway, broke up with him and was trying to live my...
And come on, y'all, that's messy as I don't know what. That's messy as HE double hockey sticks, okay? He gonna tell both of them to be quiet so that they wouldn't tell each other. They're on the same team. You know how competitive girls can be. Okay, they already cheerleaders. So he gonna mess with two girls on the same team. One he really wants to be with, the other I guess not as much. He doesn't want to really be with her. But yeah, that's all to see who's gonna be the greatest beard, to me, in my opinion.
Best life, y'all. Really was, right? And I ended up getting in an argument with one of my best friends on the team that you all know as Super Black Girl, Tracy. Got in an argument with her, so I was suspended for 2 weeks. So I went to Mexico with my DJ friend. And we had time of our life, whatever, came back, and my phone is blowing up. My little sidekick. And it's him. And I'm asking for advice from my DJ friend, and he's like, hey, just go and talk to him. Just see what he got to say. Just hear him out. Like, maybe he really is sorry. Okay. I go to the hotel, and at first he wasn't in there because he was at, like, team meetings. But then he comes in, and we're in there, and we're talking, and he's pleading his case and asking for forgiveness, talking about how much he loves me and that he'll never do it again, that I'm the one for him, I'm perfect this, perfect that. All these things, y'all. And I said I would think about it. I said, I'll talk to you later. So I walked to the room, I walked to the door, and he pulls me back with my arm, and he's like, well, can I at least have a hug?
Hey guys, did you know some drivers are ditching their car insurance and they're doing this instead? Now, the reason why you may be overpaying for car insurance is because a big chunk of your monthly payment isn't even for insurance. It's to pay bill collectors and administrative people. Crazy, right? But my friend showed me this cool little website that changes this around completely. It gives you the ability to pay for just your policy alone. So this website can find liability for as low as $29 a month and full coverage insurance for only $38 a month. I put a link to the website down below. So hey.
Sorry, you guys.
That hug turned into kissing and touching and our child being conceived. I did not know I was pregnant until about a little over a month later when I was in practice, and one of the dancers who, funny story, ended up marrying the head coach of, that's not important, sorry. So after practice, I go to Walgreens and I buy a pregnancy test, and I take it home, take the test, call my brothers and girlfriend, wait for the results, and when I see them, I start bawling. I literally lost it. I saw my entire career just disappear, and I was devastated. I called my mom in the same state of mind. She's losing it. She's freaking out. Until I finally tell her, like, I'm pregnant. She goes, oh, I thought you killed somebody. That's how hard I was crying. She asked me if I had told him, and I said, I've been texting him. I've been texting his cousin. I've been texting his best friend, and nobody was responding. And I said, Mom, I cannot be a mother. And I said, please help me. Like, I cannot be a mom. I'm not ready to be a mother. And she was like, well, you're going to have to tell your dad. So for 2 days, I waited for a response. And when I finally got one, the response was, I was asleep. I responded, for 2 days, you just played a game in Milwaukee last night. And then he responded, I thought you were on birth control. Hey, y'all. It's Royce. And this is my story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004 to now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 2. We left off with, I thought you were on birth control. I'd like for it to be noted that I had not been on birth control our entire relationship. He was very aware, and also as to why he was not against it. Also, I'd like for it to be noted that there was no attempt to pull out that particular day, whereas in the past, he would move so fast that he would run into the dresser drawers.
Now, what does that mean, you guys? She said in the past he would pull out so fast that he would run into the dresser drawer. I don't know what that means. And she's saying it like people understand what that means. I do not know or understand what that means. If somebody knows, please let me know.
So let's continue. About a week went on, and there was a little bit of communication, and the communication was regarding terminating the pregnancy. I was told that he would help me. I just needed to get to Orlando, and we would do it there. I said, okay, not a problem. Just know it has to be a quick turnaround because I have to get back to work, and I can't let my parents know. Please understand, I had no idea how abortions worked at all. So I'm thinking that I could just get up and turn around. Anyway, communication ceased again. Now I'm having to talk to my parents. I talked to my mom again. She was adamant about me telling my dad. So I told my dad, and my dad was like, huh. And I'm like, huh, what? He goes, all right. And I said, well, I don't want you to worry because I'm not going to keep the baby. I'm going to terminate pregnancy, and then I'm going to finish the season out. I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm going to fulfill this contract that I got with Treasure Island. Like, I had all these plans, and I was going to pursue my career. And he was like, no. It's like, you're going to have to put that on hold. And I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, you were woman enough to lay down. You're going to be woman enough to keep this baby. Now, back then, it wasn't a decision that was just easy where you could just go to a clinic, okay?
Now, I believe this is all alleged on my end. This is not a good look for her, so I'm a...
It was...
That did not look good. But I believe he was trying to make her a beard. And he wanted to see if she'll sit down quietly and wait around on him. And Royce is the type of female, she knows she needs her money. You know, she's going to need her money. She can't depend on a man. You can't depend on anyone to do anything for you. And I'm pretty sure her being raised by two parents, you know, her mom and her dad being in her household. And at this point, she's very grown. So she's not even a kid. And her parents are still together. So he probably thought, Dwight Howard that is, probably thought that he was going to get some woman pregnant who, you know, needed him, needed his support. And, you know, Royce wanted to make a name for herself. She wanted to be something. So she wasn't the kind of girl that would just sit down and let him and just be the baby mama. You know, she wanted to be known herself. And I could tell that because of Basketball Wives back in the day. If you know Basketball Wives, then you understand. Because to even go on a show like that, you want to be known, you know. But Royce wasn't the type to sit down and be someone's beard, and Dwight Howard effed around and found out.
Also extremely expensive, especially for someone who was dancing on basketball courts in booty shorts and a half top. So my mom did not give me the money, and I was now stuck. And I was asking friends, I was trying to just figure out anything I could do. It even got to the point where I was drinking magnesium citrate, or I was trying to use a hanger. It was bad. It was bad. But when I went to the doctor and I heard the heartbeat, that is when things were put into a bigger perspective for me. I don't know what it is, but when you hear that heartbeat, it changes you. And I knew then that I was going to be a mom. And so now it's time to tell Superman that he is having a baby. And as you can imagine, that message was not received well. And I was met with a bunch of, oh, you're tarnishing my image, you're ruining my career, I'm a Christian, what I look like having a baby, and I'm trying to put the cross on the NBA logo. How could you do this to me? You're a gold digger. Oh yeah, I was hit with everything, y'all. Like
Reverse psychology, 1-on-1. Okay? That's that reverse psychology. People use that against other people so that they can use that to control them. Okay? She probably didn't understand that at this time. I'm pretty sure she understands it now. But that wasn't nothing but reverse psychology, because first of all, you out here, you doing everything that would lead to you getting a woman pregnant, and then you're surprised that she actually is pregnant and is going to have a child when she told you she was okay with having an abortion, and she was looking for you to help her pay for it, and you disappeared. So what did he think was going to happen? Come on now. We're not stupid now. Back then, of course, when she was going through all this, I'm pretty sure she thought, she probably believed everything he said back then. But looking back on it, she's probably like, yeah, he definitely knew what time it was. But yeah, let's get into it.
have a career. But because none of those changed my mind, he then hits me with, and I have a girlfriend. Okay. I've always had a girlfriend. Oh, wow. Okay. So now I'm realizing, y'all, that not only is this person a completely different person than I thought he was, but I realized that he is a master manipulator, and he will do any and everything to get exactly what he wants.
Right, because again, like I said, and I spilled my soda. Not my soda, I'm sorry, I don't even drink soda, but I spilled my tea that's in this little flimsy behind cup that they gave me. But so that's what that noise was. But no, he wanted to see how well he could play her, and telling her that he's messing with other women after he done got her pregnant is probably just a way of seeing if he can get her to, sit down somewhere and be quiet. But Royce probably panicked because she does have, like I said, she comes from a 2-parent household. So it's different for a girl who comes from a 2-parent household versus a girl who is raised by a single parent. Royce probably was like, oh, my parents, my family. If he would have got someone pregnant that came from a single household, she probably would, be more willing to just do any and everything because, she wants to make it look good. But he knew what he was doing.
I didn't fall for it. And because I didn't fall for it, I was then met with hell on earth. When I was about 4 or 5 months pregnant, I was asked to attend a meeting at a restaurant right around the corner from my townhome. I agreed to it, and when I got there, one of the first things said to me was, "You don't look pregnant." I said, "Thank you." And they said, "No, because you have your belly ring in still." Mind you, I had already had this conversation before about wearing a belly ring while I was pregnant. I just liked it. But then they said that it just looks like you're poking your stomach out. Why am I here? Like, what the fuck y'all got going on? What do you want? Right? We sit down, and in this meeting is his manager, his cousin, himself. I am then offered money. I'm asking what the money is for. I'm thinking that maybe it's to help me with my pregnancy. No. I was asked to move away and say that this baby was not his. Twice. I declined. They got angry. I was then approached by the team office, and they wanted me to come in and have a sit-down conversation and do a prenatal paternity test. My doctor said absolutely not. Therefore, I said no. It was dangerous, and once the baby came, I was not opposed to doing so.
Go sit down. Go.
For the next couple months, I got ready for a baby shower. I got ready with my baby registry. And every time I did anything, I was met with false accusations. I was threatened. With the baby registry, I was told to take his name off of there. And I did. For the baby shower invitations, I was told to take the name off of there. So I did. But I still was getting threatened.
Now, I just want to know, I keep getting her in this weird look.
Receiving.
But I just want to know from you guys, like during this time, 2007, was that during a time where it wasn't a good look to be like a baby dad for a basketball player? Like I'm confused about that, because why would he need to get his manager involved in this and have a whole meeting with her when he could have went and got an abortion, when he could have just paid for the abortion? Think about it. The abortion couldn't have cost that much for him. Okay, maybe 500 at the most. You know, I don't know how much abortions cost, but I'm thinking the abortion ain't gonna cost that much. So if she's telling you she wants to get an abortion, he told her to meet her at this place. So what? Why wouldn't he just have the abortion? Why would he let her go ahead and get as big as she want, as big as he wanted her to get? Because he knew she was just gonna continue to get bigger and bigger. You know, and I understand she said her belly was small because she's a very petite girl. It's her first pregnancy. So she's probably not going to be all huge or whatever. She's a petite girl. So, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me now. You know, you get your manager involved in this, like, oh, take his name off of everything. Like, that's not going to stop him from being the child's father. Because once the baby come, then it is what it is. You know, you still got to go through those steps. You're still going to have to go through child support. So, you know, she could take you to court and then get the paternity test. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that he would let her be pregnant. You know, they talked about her getting an abortion, but he didn't follow through on his part. But then once she's like too far along to get an abortion, then now he wants to get his team involved and have a meeting with her. Like, I don't know. That all seems very weird and strange to me.
Anonymous messages on MySpace and Twitter, and I didn't know what to do. Around
anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans may qualify for help from National Debt Relief. Minimum payments could...
Early November, I started having really bad complications with my pregnancy, and I was put on bed rest. I didn't listen, but I was put on bed rest. As hard as it was to sit still, it was something that I knew I needed to do because I could tell something was wrong. On November 16th, I had a doctor's appointment, and my doctor was like, you need to go to the hospital, and they need to put you on a monitor. Stop letting them tell you that you're dehydrated. I said, okay, cool. We go to the hospital. They still don't put me on the monitor, and I'm just over it, and I go home. Around 3:33 that next morning, November 16th, I woke up to excruciating pain. I threw something down the stairs. My brother came up, who had been staying with me, and told him I needed to go to the hospital. We go to the hospital. They finally put me on a monitor, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're having contractions for real. No shit. They say that they're going to admit me. I said, until how long? They said, until you have this baby. Oh, cool. Tell my mom everything. This is also during classic weekend. 54 and a half hours, I was in labor, and my child was delivered via C-section. They knew the day that I went into the hospital, they knew the complications I was having. They knew that the child's heart rate had been dropping, and not one person cared. Not one person responded to that at all. But when they found out that the baby was born, an immediate message came through to my mother asking for a picture. I said, send a picture. She sent the picture, and the response was, oh, that's my grandbaby. To me, all babies look alike when they're born, so whatever, but hey, go off. I was thinking that maybe that was going to be a start to something better, but it was actually the gateway to hell. For the next 3 days, I stayed in the hospital, and not one time did I receive a visit from him or anyone in his family, but his girlfriend actually did stop by unannounced and uninvited with a bag of bibs talking about we needed to speak. I said, no, we don't.
What?
Asked her to leave, and she left. It was cool. Well, a few days later, I was discharged from the hospital the day before Thanksgiving, actually. And on Thanksgiving, we go to my cousin's every single year who stayed right around the corner from him. He kept saying that he was going to come by, that he was around the corner, that he was about to ring the doorbell. All these things, kept saying that he was coming by. Y'all, he never showed up. We then ended up taking a paternity test at a neutral location, even though the team had asked me to take it at their offices, and I said, hell no, because I don't trust them. We took it at a neutral location. The results came back on Christmas Eve. He acted like he was excited, wanted to see the baby the next day, Christmas. I said, cool.
So now the baby is born. He get his family members to contact her, and they acknowledge the child. Sound like they're interested in being a part of the child's life. Then they do a paternity test, realize he is the father, and now he's so happy. Sounds like a whole bunch of games. Sounds like a whole bunch of games he's playing here. And he has a girlfriend that he sends to the hospital to see her. What kind of mess is this?
Christmas comes, he's like, who all over there? And he wanted to see him by himself. I said, absolutely not. I'm not telling my family to leave. They're my support system. So they stayed. He comes in, he's with his cousin. His cousin is taking all these pictures. I'm not taking pictures. His cousin's taking pictures. Next thing we know, a few days later, these pictures that his cousin has taken, one in particular where he's laying on the sofa and our child is on his shoulder, has now gone, like, I guess back then, viral. And everybody now knows that Superman has a baby.
Okay, so you guys, come on. So this down low man, Dwight Howard, finally acknowledges this child once the child is born. He gets his cousin to come with him to see the child for the first time. And he's taking pictures of the child, and he posted the pictures. Because she said she didn't take any pictures. He posted the pictures. Him or his cousin. And he allowed his cousin to take the pictures, so I'm pretty sure his cousin got permission from him. And now all of a sudden, now he's ready to be a father. This behavior here, I wish I was a therapist so I can, evaluate this situation here and name it.
Hey y'all, it's Royce. And I'm back again to tell you about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, and still now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 3. We are now in January of 2008, and I am at my cousin's house, the same cousin that stays around the corner from him. He calls and he says that he wants to come and have a talk with me. I said, okay. He comes by. Superman is bearing gifts. There's a brand new car outside for me, a Lexus SUV, a brand new sidekick phone, and he offers to buy me a house. After talking it over with my dad, mom, it was absolutely not, because the house is not going to be in your name. And it's something that he can take from you at any moment if he gets mad.
Makes
So
sense.
I declined it.
I'll take
He
that
then
car
said,
though.
well, let me refurnish your townhouse. Okay. I was not asked about any type of furniture. They just showed up at my door one day and just started bringing stuff in. No lie. I had no say so. When it came down to me needing diapers and
Control. Okay? So he offers to give her a house. She's saying she didn't ask for anything. So now all of a sudden he wants to acknowledge the baby once the baby is born and he's had a DNA test and realized the baby is his. She got cars, houses, all types of stuff for a woman he doesn't even talk to or communicate with. And then she declines the offer on the house and he sends interior decorators or furniture people to deliver furniture that he picked out, I'm assuming. What? What is this? What is this?
bottles and now formula because I'm no longer able to breastfeed. My body wasn't producing enough milk. His mom did at one point come by with a bunch of diapers. I was very thankful. But that was it. There was nothing else. There was no help. There was nothing. At this point, I auditioned for a dancing gig at Holy Land. And I got the gig, so I began dancing in late January. So now I have a job. I'm working. On the days that I had to work, my child was with my parents. And on occasion, he would be with his father and the nanny and his girlfriend. Well, there were days where he would come home from seeing or spending time with his father, and he would be very colicky, throwing up, like sick. Fevers, would have to take him to the doctor. It was a lot. That relationship he was in ended. I find out later on that the reason my child was returned super colicky, sick, throwing up, all these things, only to then be told it was because they were purposely giving him food that was opposite of what he was eating. I would pack a bag and I would have it lit.
Now, mind you, on the screen here, it says that she spoke with the ex, and the ex gave her this information here.
Of what he should be eating for lunch, for dinner, all these things. And he was intentionally given the opposite. So when he would be returned home, he was sick, colicky, throwing up, having to go to the hospital. When I confronted the situation, I was told that that was a lie and that it was only done because they thought I was trying to micromanage, and they decided that they were just going to give him whatever they wanted to give him.
So not only does he play with the life of this young lady here, Royce, but he's playing around with the baby. Like, how sick is that? And if you guys know, Dwight Howard is known, or, it's known allegedly that when he was involved in those situations with those transgender women, his son was at the house a lot of times. So his son would be there in the house when he was involved in intercourse with 2, 3, or more, we don't know how many, male ex-workers. So it's just weird that he's playing around with a child like that. That just makes him seem very childish, very childish. Like, so many other words I could say, but that is very childish. You think she's micromanaging you when she's trying to tell you? The full-time mom is trying to tell you how to care for your son that you barely see, and you're going to do something opposite of that? Like, where would they even get the information to do something opposite of that? Like, who told them that that would be okay? This is weird.
Okay. I let it go, y'all. Now, again, we've had the birthday party. We've had our Christmas. Things seem to be going okay, right? We've now gone to mediation, and in mediation, we agreed to a child support number, and it was drastically, probably a third of what one of my attorneys was requesting. I said that I didn't want to seem like I was out for his money, so I was okay with the amount that was given.
So my car insurance just went up again to
Mistake number one, because if your lawyer is telling you to use this number, you should definitely take your lawyer's advice, because your lawyer is the expert, in my opinion. I had to learn the hard way when it came to dealing with my lawyer and fighting my in-laws. But we got through the situation. But you should always trust your lawyer. And it's crazy that, she has this feeling of not wanting to seem like she's out for his money when, they had intercourse together. So it wasn't like it was a one-way street. I'm sure he knew how you make a baby, just like she did. So he knew if he got someone pregnant, what the outcome would be, and how he would probably be in control, of the situation, or be responsible for the situation. So now, she's out here feeling like, oh, I can't ask for too much because I don't want to look like I'm out for his money, when it's women out here that are getting buku money, okay, from these basketball players and these celebrities each month for child support. Like, women, stop doing this to yourself, because for all that hurt and everything you're going to go through, with dealing with your child all alone, listen to your lawyer.
I start dating. Now all of a sudden I think we should make this work.
Oh.
This is your first kid. This is, my first kid. Let's make this work. Now, this is where I could probably be stupid. Well, I was dumb. I saw family. And I am a very forgiving person. If you know anything about me, I forgive way too much. So we decided to work on a relationship. Crazy, right? But we did. Almost immediately, I regretted it. I was forced to do things sexually that I did not necessarily agree with. But because I wasn't that experienced, I thought it was normal.
I wonder what type of things she had to do that she wasn't experienced with. I'm telling y'all, this whole situation is the making of a beard, in my opinion. Of course, it went AWOL, and she wasn't able to be a full-time beard for him, but it all seems like a making of a beard to me.
And I never complained about it. I just felt like this was me experiencing things that maybe he's experienced and I have not. That's when things started turning verbally and physically and also mentally abusive. I was told that I was stupid. I was told that nobody would ever want me. I was told that everybody here loved him and hated me. And how does it feel to have my hometown turn on me? I better not ever leave him. If I left him ever, he would make my life a living hell. And he did. There were days that I would be at his home and I was threatened with a knife, and then it was laughed off. But when the knife was in my face, it was, I could kill you right now and get away with it because I could claim self-defense and they would believe me and not you, because who are you? That happened. He came to my house one day to pick up our child, and because I did not have a backpack or orange Trident gum or soda in my refrigerator, he followed me into our child's closet and he grabbed me and he pushed me to the floor and said, in the future, I better have his back waiting. I then left. I go out into the family room and I'm telling his best friend, the one that's an inch away from being a little person, And I'm like, get your friend. He's going crazy. What's wrong with him? Well, he comes in there and he, in front of his best friend, as well as
That best friend is probably his real man.
my goddaughter, my other goddaughter, he grabs my hair and he forces me to the floor. And he's like, who the are you talking to? Our child, who is not even 2 yet, is thinking he's playing. So he's grabbing at his leg with his baby voice, and he throws me into the entertainment center. When he threw me into the entertainment center, it broke the door. So I was flung into the one on the right, and our son, who was grabbing him and like thinking he was playing, he then flung him into the other door. I do not think that was intentional. I don't think he knew his own strength, but that's what he did, and it did break that door.
Now she's calling him Superman, but now she doesn't believe he know his own strength. Come on now. This is the guy everybody calls Transformer. So Superman is laughable. Transformer is a more accurate description of Dwight Howard.
As well. Our son started crying. His best friend was like, man, what you doing? Like, you know, that's a female. And he's just not caring. That's when I realized, like, oh my God, I'm in a relationship that I swore I would never be in. Now, moving on, the day that I really wanted to leave was a day where I did not want to have relations with him. And he then forced me to give him fellatio. I know you're wondering, how does someone force you into doing that? When you are dealing with someone that is that big and you are that small and you're terrified of them and they have gotten away with so much and doing so many things, and you're still the one made out to be crazy and bitter, you're probably willing to do just about anything just to get through it. And that's where I was. After that, another nanny came into the picture. I knew this nanny was not okay. When she would drop our child off, he would sit in the doorway and he was hitting himself. Or he would be in a bathtub and he would be playing with himself in a really weird way that just didn't seem right. Of course, he was little, so he couldn't really vocalize things. But yeah, I could tell something wasn't right. There was the day where I invited her inside and I sat her down and I said, I just need to talk to you. And I said, have you ever put your hands on my son? And she swore up and down no. And I said, well, why is he sitting in the doorway hitting himself or playing with himself in the bathtub? And she was like, oh my God, I don't know. Why would you even ask me something like that? I said, because I want to know. She swore up and down that she had never put her hands on my son in an inappropriate way or even as a disciplinarian. I said, okay. And I said, but if I find out that you have ever put your hands on my son, we're going to have a problem.
Y'all, I'm gonna let this finish playing out here, and then I'm gonna get into it. This is crazy.
I said, no, it's not a threat. It's a promise. She then went back and told them that I threatened her. And I told them the same thing, that I didn't threaten her, that I made a promise. And that's when things started getting hidden from me about what was going on at that house with my child. But I found out anyway. This is also around the time that Basketball Wives was coming to fruition.
Okay, you guys. So you see it there. Okay, that's the 3-part 1, 2, and 3 of the Royce and Dwight Howard's madness, being told by Royce Reed. I swear, you guys, it must be something that those basketball players have to participate in, because the Dwayne Wade situation with him and his ex-wife, The ex-wife said that it was some strange stuff going on. They had all types of nannies. They even had male nannies. Now, I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything, but I'm not used to a male taking care of a child like a nanny, okay? I don't even see how that it wouldn't be considered possible to me. And you can say what you want to say, however you want to say it. I don't care. I'm a woman. I feel like a woman should be taking care of a child. But within the Dwayne Wade, not Dwayne Wade, Dwayne Wade situation with him and his ex-wife, she said that they had male nannies, and this one male nanny, he was super LGBT, and he was very flamboyant. And she said she believed that her son took on his mannerisms because he was around him a lot. Now, it could be that Dwayne Wade and that nanny was messing with that child, or just the nanny, or I don't know. But Royce is saying that to her, of course, she's probably thinking, oh, my child is not going to be assault essayed by his dad, so it must be the nanny. But y'all, ain't no telling who it was that was actually messing with the child. Okay, now she's saying this. This is not my words. Okay, you see this video right here on the screen playing that Royce is putting out here telling y'all about her child, you guys. This is crazy. But it's just something that definitely goes on in the NBA with the NBA players. Dwayne Wade and his ex-wife went through the same thing. And Dwayne doesn't talk about it at all, but the ex-wife, she did interviews talking about it before. So this is obviously something that happens. And again, like I said, I'm not sure if it is the nannies or if it's the actual fathers, or if the fathers are being forced to do stuff with their children. It sounds crazy. I know. Excuse me. It sounds very crazy, but this is what's going on, y'all. Okay, and the sooner y'all understand, the better, because something needs to be done about this. It is not just happening with the P. Diddy situation, and it's not just happening there. It's all of those celebrities. It's like it's something known that they all know. All those celebrities, they all seem like they have to be a part of some type of strange and very weird situation when it comes to children. Now, I'm all about saving the children. I'm all about saving the children. Y'all, I was so nervous about one of my children, or any of my children, being exposed to being assaulted, I would say, or essay, that I wouldn't even allow my children to go to sleepovers until they were super grown. And when I say, well, not super grown, but super old, my children were in high school. Hell, by that time, they wasn't even doing sleepovers. So, and my oldest daughter, she was the only one having sleepovers or going to sleepovers, but I knew her mom, or her friend's mom. I knew them, and I kept a close eye on situations, and I talked to my children about certain things so they would know what to look out for and to communicate back with me. And I also let them know that, the first thing and a person would tell you is that, oh, I'll hurt your mom, or, I made them aware that, of the stuff that could possibly be told to them just to keep them quiet, or I hurt your mom, I'll, delete your mom if you tell. I talk to my children and have very serious conversations like that, and we have to do that. But you guys, in this celebrity world here, it's a lot of freaky stuff going on, and I'm glad that Royce is telling her story, because I believe she tried to tell this story a long time ago, but a lot of people didn't want to hear, because it was so much hate out for this girl. I remember doing Basketball Wives, even the girls on the show act like they didn't like her. And I didn't see her do anything to anyone. But she was little, she was super cute. And you know how sometimes if you're a female, if you're too cute, a lot of females won't like you. So it could have been the fact that Dwight Howard had put out some type of campaign like, yeah, don't mess with Royce, put out some lies out there about her to keep people away from her so stories wouldn't come out. This is crazy, you guys, and we're going to get back to it and finish it, but this is disgusting. It's disgusting. And she said all this started happening when the TV show came out. So, here she goes, trying to have a career for herself, trying to get money the way that, a legal way, get money to support herself and her child. And she's dealt with all this madness right here. So yeah, you guys, I'm gonna find the other parts to the story here and we're gonna talk about that as well. But I just thought this was so important because it just exposes, okay? It exposes the madness and the stuff that is going on in the celebrity industry. Like, think about it. Have you ever wanted to be a celebrity so bad? Have you ever wanted to be super rich, driving Royces or whatever Bentleys, being seen by the celebrities? Like, people will do anything just to be amongst those celebrities, you guys. And come on now. You got to do better, because not only are people selling their souls, they're selling their children. Or they might not even be selling them. They might just be giving them away. That's all I have for you guys on this live right here. When I saw this, I had to do it. Y'all already know I speak a lot about the ex-racketers and the busts they have that almost are secretly being exposed. I'm going to put it out there on my channel. Okay, so thank you for being a member, a subscriber here on my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button so that you can know when I upload. If you like this type of footage, definitely subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified every time I post or upload a video. And also hit that thumbs up for this video here, because I'm behind Royce when it comes to this right here. Because I know the situation that happened with the Dwayne Wade situation and that child Zaya. I'm going to get into that footage as well. I'll be back with another one. This is not the end, okay? Oh, this is sickening. And stuff like this don't just have to happen to celebrities, you guys. Protect your children. Talk to them. Have conversations with them. Let them know what people who will try to essay them would say, so they won't be afraid if something does happen to speak up and tell their story, and they won't have to wait till they're all grown and, tell their truth. Speak to your child now. Because I started when my children was... Hell, when they could start speaking, we start talking, okay? At every age, all right? I let them know where people should not be touching them, stuff like that. Hell, I spent most of the time with them, so they didn't even really go to daycare. But every parent isn't allowed, to be around their child that much. But you guys, we just got to do better. When you know better, you can do better, you guys. All right, so I'll continue this one. And I hope you guys have an awesome Monday. Peace.